Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Afternoon Tune. I'm your host, Josh, and with me is my two co-hosts.
It's your boy, Chayse.
And it's your boy, Nick.
In the Fresh Prince reunion special, they came on another streaming service, HBO Max. And this is, of course, the reunion of all the cast of Fresh Prince. So everybody's coming back for this. Of course, obviously, one dearly departed member, James Avery, who passed away in 2013. Very sad moment for everybody, just around the world, especially if you were a big fan of the show.
First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
Yeah,
for real.
Legendary actor. Real key to if you ever see like a list of like when people talk about best black fathers on TV ever, he's always on that list.
He's at the very top of the list, especially considering how some of those black fathers have aged throughout the years.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, like nothing, good thing nothing ever happened there with James Avery, because I didn't have any connection to Cosby. I didn't watch the Cosby Show. I watched Different World, but I never watched the Cosby Show. So I had really zero connection to him that much. But I did watch Fresh Prince. So that would have kind of, hurt a little bit, like him, you know what I mean, if something like that happened. But
I'm pretty sure Carl Winslow is still safe and just, living his life.
I never really got into Family Matters, so I never really cared about him.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah. And plus he was a cop, so fuck it.
True, all cops are bastards. I forgot he was a cop.
Also, that show kind of came less about that family and more about Urkel.
Yeah.
Like even the great Key and Peele sketch pointed that out. Makes no sense.
Yeah, he was just every episode was just him fighting a different invention that he created. Towards the end of the show. But back to Fresh Prince.
Yeah, Fresh Prince. So just before we really get into a reunion, what are you all's experience with Fresh Prince? I mean, because I mostly seen it like watching reruns like late at night when I was a kid growing up. Like Nick at Night, it would come on 1 a.m. in the morning, something like that. So that's really my experience watching Fresh Prince, just watching the reruns of it and kind of enjoying it that way. What's you all's experience with Fresh Prince as a show?
So, yeah, for me, it was Nick at Night. It would be, I think it was George Lopez, Fresh Prince, Family Matters. And yeah, no, I think that was the lineup that I would watch during middle school every night. And then when I would wake up really early, they'd still have Fresh Prince on in the morning as well. So that's basically how I watched the Fresh Prince.
Yeah. Nick, what about you?
Okay, don't hate me, but I've never seen a full episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's insane.
Holy wow.
How did you live for this long?
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
never seen a full episode of Fresh Prince.
Most of my knowledge of the Fresh Prince, it comes from a lot of the videos that have circulated around the internet. Like there's that great moment where Uncle Phil is giving Will that tearing down. It's like, yeah, you have a Malcolm X poster. I heard the brothers speak. And that heartbreaking moment between the Will's father episode.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit without the context.
So
I don't know the context, but it still is the emotion gets across even if you haven't seen the full episode.
Yeah.
I think
when they were talking about that in the reunion, I was tearing up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, same.
So you know the big classic moments of it, just from being on the internet, things like that. You know that.
Yeah. I'm aware of the big classic moments of the show.
Okay. So it'd be interesting to hear your perspective of this, being somebody that's not that familiar, with the show, never seen a full episode of the show, like how much of a connection you have with this reunion. It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on that. But the first thing I will say is just I love seeing everybody come back together again, the whole cast, for this, and how this show still is very much in pop culture. Due to the memes, due to the classic episodes that it has, like the like Nick mentioned, the episode where Will breaks down about his father leaving. Episode where James Avery tears in the Will about that perspective of like this young guy wanting to be this revolutionary and being like this older black man, and then that generational divide of seeing that level of discrimination as opposed to the level of discrimination people are going through now. And
even like episodes where they bring up like their interactions with the police.
Yeah, stuff
like how sadly that is still relevant today.
Yeah. So so the show still remains so much in pop culture. Everybody knows the theme song. Like even people could probably rap the whole theme song beginning to end. People.
They still play it at clubs even here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's so the fashion of the show, which they do talk about in the reunion, of how like that was such a big part, and how especially now like a lot of like older like 80s 90s fashion is kind of coming back. You know what I mean? Baggy stuff.
And like how that show kind of was a big influence on like sneaker culture.
Yeah. Very much, because and Will Smith, he mentioned in the reunion how he would have the newest Jordans early, like 6 weeks early, before anyone else got them, he would get them, and how like
posters from the show are like still on sneakerheads' walls.
Yeah. I mean, so this shows just how big of an impact it had. And Tatiana Ali, who played Ashley in the show, were you always more of an Ashley guy or a Hillary guy?
Well,
personally,
I mean, I was more of a Hillary guy because she was older.
Well, I'm saying when she was obviously older, because you were still young. You were the same age probably Hillary when you were watching the show, weren't you?
You mean Ashley?
I mean, it's Ashley, you were the same age as her.
I mean, like, but let's not do this.
Yeah. But she was talking about James Avery and talking to him and how he had all these posters in his dressing room of famous jazz musicians and everything, and how he taught her a lot about black people in art and what they did and their contributions, stuff that you wouldn't really learn about in regular education, of black people's impact on culture that way, and how that show kind of had that similar impact. That show was, there's so many people who and they talk about the generations of television, what I mean, and of black people in entertainment, of how things have just constantly changed. It's just a little bit more and more at the time, and they were a part of that path, what I mean, of showing black people,
Yeah, especially like Alfonso Ribeiro, he brought up how like in a lot of black-led TV at the time, they kind of weren't as involved in depth with like the writing, with the production of the show, but here he like brings up like the writers would really take the input from their actors. Like they bring up the one story about, all right, this character says one thing, and one of the actors said, yeah, if a real black kid said that to their parents, they get their teeth slapped out of them.
And it was great hearing like because pretty much the entire cast tells the story how they got onto the show, what their experience was like during the audition process. They show auditions from like Hillary, the actress who plays her. They show her audition tape. They show Alfonso Ribeiro's audition tape, which is really nice.
Will Smith tells that great story of how like Quincy Jones pulls him aside at a party. Yo, we about to do an audition, come on. It's like, hey man, give me a week. Let me find an acting coach. Look, everybody that needs to say yes is out there right now.
Yeah.
Fuck. Give me 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of really great stories hearing that stuff. You know what I mean? Because as someone who does like the show, I'm not like a big historian when it comes to the show. I couldn't name you all the like big details of it, all these like little details. So it's nice seeing it and them talk about it, and them reminiscing about it, which is very nice. And for me, when it got like really emotional is the James Avery, and when they bring him up and they show footage of him talking about the impact he had with all of them, and how they really looked at him like a real father, and they spent more time with each other than they ever did their own family. So it was like a on-set family, I mean, I don't know how 100% genuine it is, but I mean, watching this, it really does feel like that,
I mean, let's be honest. The majority of the cast are not the greatest actors in the world. A lot of it, I feel like the show got by with the chemistry with the entire cast, and that comes across here really well. Yeah. It's like it feels like going to a family reunion with people you haven't seen in forever, and you're just picking right back up where you left off years ago.
Yeah. Another emotional moment for me was when Janet Hubert came on to the and she was having her conversation with Will.
The original Aunt Viv on the show. Because with me, I wasn't really aware of the controversy with that. I wasn't aware of the beef that was between them until I saw this episode, and it was really emotional seeing them bury the hatchet almost 30 years later, and how much that struggle and pain was mostly because of a lack of perspective on Will Smith's part.
Yeah.
Because even like he mentions that, he didn't really understand until like he got married, he had kids, and he saw like how much of a struggle it was for her to like get to set each day.
Yeah.
And to finally hear her side of the story, because I mean they've been going like real back and forth with each other for like over 2+ decades. I mean, this is a feud that's been going for a long time, and I mean she said some really bad things about him, and then he's mostly kind of not tried to say too much terrible things about her. The cast.
Well, the problem was that he said to, according to some people, he may have said the words that she was difficult to work with, and as she
which for not just a woman in Hollywood, but a black woman in Hollywood, that's pretty much the kiss of death.
Like she says in the special, like that basically destroyed her career, or at least like sidetracked it for the last 30 years. So
and it's a really good talk between them. Gets really emotional. That's also another like huge emotional moment of the reunion, how they're kind of just burying the hatchet there. And I thought that was very, very well done as well. And how they also, coincide the clips of, them speaking and the subject of what they're speaking about, and how they show it to the viewer watching it. I think is also very well done. I think it's very also well edited as well. The reunion special, them sitting around like in the set. From the original show, I thought that was really great. Especially even how the reunion special opens, because it opens with they're doing the last episode and doing the whole thing where he's just standing there, that meme of him just standing there in that empty house, and then the scene he cuts off the lights, and then it opens up with him turning on the lights, and then they're all being fully furnished again, and them all sitting around, them all just kind of meeting each other, which is also a really, really sweet moment as well. So I mean, this entire thing, I mean, it just makes you feel good, you know what I mean? It's like one of those things we talk about, like Alona Holmes, or what was that other movie we said? Love and Monsters.
Like Love and Monsters, Bill and Ted. This is a great like feel good piece.
Yeah.
You feel good.
Yeah.
So I loved it from beginning to end. Hearing these stories, hearing them all around talk, because I mean, for the most part, except for the Janet Hubert thing, they're all pretty friendly with each other. You see them like when they do interviews and talk about each other. Like they seem like they still remain in contact occasionally, and they still talk and very friendly with each other. So that's nice. So for me, I'd give it. I think I give it a 10 out of 10. This would be my first perfect score ever. Doing this reviews for the show. I give it a perfect score. Can't really say I had any real issue with it really. I mean, I guess it could have been longer. Could have maybe gave some more spotlight to Jeffrey, the butler.
Yeah,
you
true.
know what I mean? Like, because everybody's telling stories of how they got on the show. I don't think he told his story of how he got on the show and what his process was like. I don't think.
Yeah, I think he only had like one.
I think that might have been like something that's left on the cutting room floor for this.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that.
I wouldn't have mind it. I wouldn't have
fuck the Zack Snyder cut. give me that.
I wouldn't have mind them
the Jeffrey cut.
Yeah, I wouldn't have mind them do like a whole sort of miniseries on it, because there's so many different aspects of the show that they talk about, from the fashion, from the cultural impact, all the social commentary episodes and whatnot. Like I wouldn't have mind them do like a whole like little like mini series or like a documentary style piece on it, just so that we can get like some more out of it. Because for me at least, I wanted more. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I want it. Yeah, I wish it was long, because it's only an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and it just kind of flies by. It's like, wow, yeah, I wanted more of it. Yeah. What's your rating for it, there,
I don't got a rating for it, dog. It's just a wholesome out of 10, dog.
All right, Nick.
Okay, so for me, coming to this as somebody who only has like a very passing knowledge of the show, I know the really iconic moments from it, but I've never really seen a full episode. And this, it's like a very emotional and very heartwarming look at one of the most groundbreaking shows on television, I'd say, in terms of how it was, how it showed off black excellence, how it had black actors in depth involved in the process of making the show. It giving a really fascinating look at the making of a multi-camera sitcom, excuse me, and showing how a lot of the pop culture stuff, that the cultural elements that were brought up in the show, how those are still relevant today, and how much it kind of changed the world of fashion with TV. I don't think we would have gotten shows like Chappelle's Show or like Key and Peele or Blackish if this show wasn't around. And just talking about like James Avery as the father figure to pretty much not just on the show but to the cast as well. I don't think Will Smith would be the actor he is today without this show.
He might have not ever even been an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other emotional moment with Janet Hubert and Will Smith, seeing them bury the hatchet, that really got to me, even though I wasn't even aware of any beef up until then. And yeah, but for me, this is because I haven't seen the show, I can't give this any higher than a 9 out of 10.
Boo.
I feel like if I had watched the whole series, or at least more like on the level that you guys did, I would definitely give this a 10 out of 10.
Boo, watch the series already. I think it's still on Netflix. Boo, you have no excuse.
Actually,
it is not on Netflix internationally, bruh.
Get a VPN. Boo.
I have a VPN.
Watch it on,
I can't find it.
You can watch it on HBO Max. All the seasons.
HBO Max.
Oh, really?
Okay.
All the seasons are going to be on. All the seasons are on HBO Max right now. So if you've never seen Fresh Prince and want to watch the reunion and then go like, man, I want to watch the show that everybody's crying about, then you can go and watch the show on HBO Max. It's right there, all 6 seasons.
Yeah.
Right.
After you're done.
Oh, sweet.
After you're done, you're the worst. Fresh Prince. All right. That is.
It's on my list.
That is your regiment.
Oh yeah. So I don't think I've even seen every single episode of the show. I don't think I've even seen every single episode. So it'd be I probably would go back and rewatch all of it from beginning to end again, just to see. So yeah, very really great reunion special. Really great. All right, so moving on from discussing Fresh Prince reunion special, we're going to discuss. Get out of here, people. Hey, people, you all know what to do. Do that good stuff. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Give comments, concerns, constructive criticisms. Let us know what we did right. Let us know what we did wrong. If you want to chat with us, you can always email us at theafternoontune@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at twitter.com/theafternoontune. You can also find us on Facebook at Facebook page, facebook.com/theafternoontune. Also on Instagram at theafternoontune. Chayse, where people can find you.
You can find me at Mr. Chayse Mac at Twitter, Instagram. I'm actually now streaming on Twitch.
Sweet.
Not really
Streaming on Twitch.
I don't have a schedule or anything, but it's more so just like a sporadic hobby that whenever I sort of, whenever I feel like playing games and talking to people, I'll be on there.
All right, people, make sure you do not give him bits.
Yeah.
Do not give him bits. Do not.
I don't need your money.
Yeah, don't simp for Chayse, people.
Yeah, you could simp for better things and better people. But where can they find you, Nick?
All right, you can find me on Facebook, Nick Taylor, or Twitter and Instagram at Night and Day Nick.
Great. All right. So, to all you people out there listening to this, whenever you're listening to this, hope you are having a great time. And don't forget to always stay tuned